Sup? Welcome back to Blazy B, where I'm blazed and I'm B. And right now, I just want to talk about Electric Forest. You guys, I went to Electric Forest, and it's been like almost a month since I went, and I still haven't talked about it. So I need to get this like out. I I went through so much. No, I had such an incredible time. Like, holy smokes. I've been to a lot of music festivals, and this was different. This felt different in all ways. Um, from I mean, the music to the art, just the art, holy shit, and the interactive art. Like, how much this is a playground for adults. I mean, like, straight up adult playground. That is what Electric Forest is, or was to me at least. Um, so let's start from the beginning because I've heard of Electric Forest, like, not to say my whole life, but my whole adult life. Like, when I was in Seattle, people would talk about, "Oh, yeah, one day we gotta get to Electric Forest." Like, that's a big one. They always talked about, Ultra Miami, EDC Vegas, um, and then Electric Forest. We're kinda like the 3 mate and Lollapalooza, I guess. Those were the big ones that we would wanna hit as a friend group in Seattle. And I ended up going to like Tomorrowland in Belgium. That was fire. That was like 2017. So I've been to some festies and I've been to some international festies like Envision in Costa Rica, things like that. But this hit different. And also I feel like I've kind of been out of the game for a little bit. I haven't been to a big festy in like a hot minute. And now I'm 33 and I don't know if I just like can't hang for the whole night, or I just don't know if this was like my super big type of music, to be honest. Like, I'm not big into the like, I want some like fast, upbeat, danceable stuff. Like, I don't mind getting into this like zone, but I would like to be like shaking my ass, popping my body, like, let's fucking move. Mm. So there was only like a few acts that I really knew, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Disclosure. Disclosure. You did me so good. I love you, Disclosure. I haven't heard Disclosure. Like, I saw Disclosure at the Gorge way back in the day, probably at Paradiso or something like that. And oh God. Oh, they were so good, but it's been a hot minute. And so their new stuff was out and we'll get to that. Disclosure. Woo! And I got to see Khruangbin for the first time. Oh, finally. So, I okay. I like going into a festival not knowing a lot of things too. I don't mind that. I don't want to listen to the music beforehand. I get the general vibe of the festival, but let's let my ears do the jobs. Let's walk and be drawn places and let the universe take over. Like, let's stumble upon. And I ended up stumbling upon one. Oh, Roy Turbo, ROI space Turbo. Holy shit, fuck me up. I heard it and I just kept following it. And then I ended up dancing my ass off to the end of the set. And that was good. That was great. I was like, so gone. Oh, Roy Turbo in like this like sunflower disco ball. It was called Honeycomb Stage. Very cool. Very cool. So okay, let's rewind like a hot minute. So I think it was like last year because I have friends that threw a festival in Effingham, and they had a production team and they were super awesome. We got to know them. They're really cool. They do a lot of productions. They're called Rise, and they're really good at what they do. I mean, some high end work these guys do. They do all the setup, tear down of all these big events, these big sets. Like, these are not there when you like book a venue. These aren't permanent structures. They're just badass building up and down. So Rise, we got in with them and they were like, "Oh yeah, we do Electric Forest every year. You guys should come." And I was like, yeah. And then it kind of got to the time and it was like, "Yo, for real, you guys should come, like, if you're down." So we're like, "All right, bet." So it's me, Jamie, Tim. We're like, we've got tickets, we're staff. And so we've got different passes. We're going to camp behind there, camping in their van. Like, I feel like I have, it's like faux VIP access, right? I I get into this type of stuff and then it's free. But I might have to do a little work here and there. That's fine. Let's go. I'm willing to pay off my debts. So anyways, that's how I got into this. And it was like, all right, we're going to Electric Forest. Let's go. We got staff passes. I'll meet you guys up there. Bet. So I roll up and I'm driving by myself. It's like 5.5 hours, easy peasy drive up to Michigan. And I stopped at a pot shop on the way that was so nice. Like they had an Electric Forest discount. Then I had a first timer discount. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Electric Forest. And they're like, oh, our friend made some candy. So we've got bracelets here if you want to take. First one I pulled out was blue, said waterbender. Oh, thanks, universe. Praise be the high gods. And so I'm just cruising on up. Stopped at that. I think that was like high standard or something. Like 30 minutes out or so. So that was nice. I was like loaded up, ready to rock. And I got there and it was kind of chaotic, but I got in, got my tickets, and I was like, all right, Jamie and Tim are not here yet. They won't be here for a few hours. So I get to go explore by myself and let's go. So I mean, when I entered this festival for the first time, it was not from the front gates. It was from a side gate going into like main stage. So I walk in and I immediately start crying. I I don't it was everything. I felt like I was around my people. I felt like the music was already good. The vibes were up. Like the whole feeling of the place just felt very natural and very like calming and hype at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. But you just walk. I mean, I'm kind of glad I got this side shot because I got to just walk into the chaos. It's not like, oh my God, like get my bag search, like going through the main sign, like, yeah, the whole front entrance hoopla. This was like in it. I just like jumped into the middle of it and got to take it on, just absorb it all in that moment. And I was like, all right, to the right or to the left? Let's look at a map. Let's go find some things. And I just started walking. I think that day I did around 9 miles. Sick. No, 11. 9 miles before midnight. um, and like the campus of this all is ginormous. You walk like one way and you've got all these wind chimes over top of you. Then you walk the other way and you're going directly like through this forest. And that's where the fun really begins. Like out in the open, you've got all these shops, you've got food vendors, you've got water stations, you've got like every necessity. And then you get up into like Sherwood Forest and over in that section, and it's just creativity plus. You walk through like this, triangle looking, hollowed out teepee kind of thing. And you arrive at like a kaleidoscope that's going to reflect your face and see the lights at night. And then there's all these other light fixtures that are moving. And then there's, the fortune teller, storyteller booth with their crystal balls. And then there's like a lay down, those like rope hammock things. They did like trampolines and this whole rope tying. And so they had like limits of like 4 wooks and 10 wooks. And there was just all these lounge areas, chill. Then you come across a library in the woods with a whole fireplace. You can sit and read and enjoy that. Just like, whoa. Then I run across this like, I don't know, tower. It's a hollow tower, like a bell tower would be, and they had big gongs all around it, and you could get in the middle of it, and they would, like, recreate a spaceship, like, they're like, "You're going on a trip to space," and so I ended up sitting down just observing. Then this one lady was like, "Hey, you're gonna be part of our group," and I was like, "Cool," and so I ended up being part of their group, and I got in there, so we had 8 people sitting down, facing outside below this bell tower, around like the gongs are surrounding us, and they're like, okay, keep your knees in, keep your feet in. Like these gongs, they go hard. And they just start beating them, and then there's like these light reflections. I felt, and I totally, at first I was like, holy shit, like this is a lot. That vibration, that sound, it was very intense. And then I was like, let go, just like let go. and I breathed it out and I just let go. And I felt like I was in like the opening of the Star Wars series now. For instance, Andor. I know that beginning intro video is like, it kind of is like a little bit Doctor Who esque, but like you feel like it's that scene of going around like R2D2 and it's like the lights and you just feel like you're going through space. Well, that's what it felt like. It was like a solid less than 5 minute ride that took me on a ride. Man, that was cool. And I just stumbled upon it. And then I just keep stumbling upon things. Like again, first timer, never been here. I don't know what to expect. Let's just walk around. And I was really happy to go like in the beginning, right by myself, completely just wander. Um, and I mean, you just find things. You find big stages, then you find small stages, then you find just random things. But there's always actors out walking around being like totally immersive and like they just play with you. Again, adult playground. And so you run across these actors and they are fully whimsical. They make this a magical experience and they don't really talk, but they'll act. And then they get excited. And then if you feed back that energy, they're going to keep going. They had a silly walk team that walked around full on clown face, like, but not like creepy clown, like total, I don't even know like Pee Wee Herman type, super cute, like suits of many colors, and they would set up their posts, and then they'd have a whole walkway, and you had to get like feathered down, and then you had to silly walk, and it was a whole thing, and they would just pick up and go to any part of the festival the entire time. Like props to that company that does that because they were incredible. They made it. There were women on stilts dressed as flowers. There were all sorts of like spider women, and there was a whole Alice in Wonderland like set, like old school rabbit vibes, and like very funky weird, and they'd come and they'd dance and then they'd sit and then they'd like act with you, and it's so interactive if you want it to be. If you want this to happen for yourself, do it. Give in. Like start acting, do the things. I stumbled upon a chapel. They have a chapel. People get married at Electric Forest. Holy shit. Um and at that point, there was a line dancing class. And if y'all know me, I love me line dancing. So I started line dancing. And I don't know what the next class was. There was just different classes every day at the chapel, different like comedy shows, anything that would happen. And then all these weddings. So you'd walk by the chapel and there'd be someone in like a white veil in their whole rave get up, like badass, having a blast. And then, okay, the Grand Antique was a really cool area. It was a very kind of old timey situation, and their music over there was pretty old timey and got into some like EDM harmonica violin, like dirt wire adjacent, but a little more upbeat and crazy. This one guy on the harmonica blew me away. Just blew me away. But this whole structure, they had a pickle shop. You could buy pickles, you could buy pickle juice. They're big into their electrolytes, and pickles are the key. And then they had a post office where they had Electric Forest postcards, and just fill it out and they'll send it for you. So I sent one to myself, I sent one to Matthew, the two addresses that I know really well, and sent those out. So, like, that's cool. Share your experience. And then, okay, my favorite, you guys, my favorite was the piano. The piano that kind of looked like an organ, but it played like a piano with all these big pipes to just blow itself out into the forest. And it was in the middle of the forest. They had lights on it, lights up around it, and all these little like square booth stations around trees with benches, but also room for hammocks. There were hammocks everywhere. And at first I thought Electric Forest did that. Like you guys provide all these hammocks and people are just like vibing. No, no. These are just people. People that go to this festival get their hammock spot, and that's their hammock spot all weekend long. And nobody steals hammocks. Also, like they'll go to different stages, and I've used other people's hammocks. Like I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know. And so one guy came back and he was like, "Oh, hey." And I was like, "Hey, oh, And he was like, "Oh, that's my hammock." And I was like, "Oh, shit. Like, my bad. I can get out." And he's like, "No, no, no. I was just checking on it. I'm going to go to this stage." I was like, "Okay, cool. Thanks." He's like, "Feel free to stay." It's like, "All right." And then this other couple was sitting in one hammock and they were like, "Oh, yeah, that one's open. Like, feel free. It's just in the sun." I was like, "Okay." So you can hop in other people's hammocks, but highly recommend taking a hammock. I think I would have loved to have my own hammock. Even if you're just like toting it around and set it up when you need to set it up, it was really nice. I like ate a slice of pizza in a hammock and watched, a set. And it was like magnificent to get off of your feet. Um, yeah, so cool. Hammock vibes. So then you're just watching this piano. And at first, too, I thought, okay, these are probably actors too, just coming up to this piano and playing so well. I was a pianist back in the day. I do not have the skills like these people have. And they just one by one would just take turns, take turns, take turns. And people would come up after their one song. And people were incredible. They'll bring you to tears. They'll make you feel all the feels. I think it was on the third night. Yeah, the third night, like Saturday night. Um, we ended up meeting this entire group of friends, and this is this one girl's sixth electric forest, and she's finally going to play the piano. She's been practicing a lot. She ended up having an encore and had two more songs. So she did three total. And our whole group of friends, honestly, it gave me so much just hope and love for the future because it was a group of homies that are all 40. Most of them are dentists, LOL. And they were so cool. They were so cool. And they were hilarious. And their theme that night was like under the sea. So the girls were like mermaids or sirens. And then the guys were like King Triton. One of them, what was he? He was a orthodontist and he's wearing one of those anglerfish like whole head thing mask, I guess. But it was like a plush face mask with the light hanging off the front. Hilarious. But like they're all there every year. They said it just keeps growing. They keep coming back because they love this festival. And anyways, homegirl played and she was incredible. And it was cool to watch that moment of like all these friends. It's giving me goosebumps. Woo, you know? Um the creativity at this festival is unmatched, truly unmatched. I have never seen anything like it. Just from the details of the set work and walking through the forest, and there's like the giant key. There's all these different things. They had like I don't know if it was a suicide corner or just like people who had passed. But you could make your own like little paper lantern and have a, you know, what you call it, like a candle in it. Like there was all these things that were just heartfelt and genuine and like just really incredible. There's lots of like fairy gardens and fountains. There was this whole fountain made of musical instruments that blew me away. Just like the tubas like spouting out water. And you can walk through all of this and people would leave their trinkets. It's a big trinket festival, okay? They also have a giving tree, a massive tree that you're able to put whatever and take whatever. And I got the dopest shirt ever. It's a Wheaties shirt, and I'm not talking WHEATIE. I'm talking WEEDIED, and it's got Snoop Dogg on the front. It's talking about your morning bowl, and epic, freaking epic. Giving Tree provides, and it had all sorts of things. You want trinkets, you need Narcan, you need um rehydration salts. That was big out there and so good actually. The responsibility of adults too, because I think this is, I don't know, it just has a little older vibe as much as it's a big young crowd obviously, but there's a lot of middle-aged people that go, and me, it's just, it feels safer and less like chaotic. There's cops everywhere, but they're wearing, the sprouts and they're like kind of into it. They were loving life and super chill. I mean, they are there for someone's dying, not to get mad at you for smoking weed, not to get mad at you if you're taking a bump. This honestly, this festival with their drugs, holy shit. They were so open. They were so out just there. I just kept witnessing people do things. And I feel like in Seattle at the Gorge, like there's no way. You're like hiding this, hiding. Everyone is in this like super mega hidden, like this isn't happening. And in Michigan, it was just like, sup, I'm doing this in front of whoever's watching. I don't care. It's like, all right, bet. But, like, no one's out of control. No one's dying. No one everyone is carrying Narcan in the case of. And I feel like there was just a lot of responsible drug use and also responsible, guests coming and going. Like, you're just aware of your surroundings normally, but I don't know. It's way more of a community, collective society feeling that you're going to watch out for other people. And you do you, and I'm going to do me. But if shit goes down, everyone's going to come to your rescue. And it's just cool. I mean, yeah, I feel like everyone's going to do their shit no matter what. Um and the more hidden, the more freakouts, the more um death, the more just not greatness. So having it out in the open, it's there and people are using responsibly and enjoying their time. And that's all you can ask. So that was really cool to see. Some of the cops were a little like too into it. I was like, all right, back up. Like, why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me? But hey, fine. All is well. They didn't harsh the vibe, which was nice. You know how cops can make you feel. So that didn't happen, and that's great. Okay, let's kind of get back on track. I kind of just like all over it because honestly, it was super cool, and I can't keep a lot of things straight. Um, so okay, yes, I walked all around. That was like my Thursday night hanging out. Um, didn't have like the coolest outfit, but I fit in, no vibe. And then Friday. So that was kind of like the first, full day festy. And yeah, I wore my Wednesday Addams outfit, which was sick. And we ended up going to Main Street in the morning, which is outside of the festival. In the front, they have this whole long like shopping area. They also have like a Dunkin' Donuts in there, a big actual coffee shop. I mean, 2 espresso machine coffee shop, just crushing it. And all these other activities. There's like the brainery. They had relaxing yoga at 9. Then they had EDM yoga at noon. And then they had talks on this and panels on this. So there's so much happening outside of the festival as well. Because gates don't open till like 3 probably on Friday. And then like noon, you're not starting until later. And so having that out front area for actual things to do during the day was really cool and nice. They also had like these vinyl painting station, and like there was 3 little stations in this one booth, and the line was massive. I never got to it sadly, but you could choose a record out of the bin and then you get to watch this paint video. Here's all these paints and you're just spinning this record and painting all over it, and then you get to keep it for free, for free. So there was just so many things to do for free. Granted, your ticket is probably $600. So shit better be for free. But there's still things to do. Like if you're not going to sleep all day, like let's go do something. And then there's food out there. There's all sorts of things. Yeah, the food is overpriced. Every meal is at least like 15 to 20 bucks, which blows. But at the same time, all prices have risen these days. So what's new? And yeah, they just had different things, really cool vendors. You know how some places have kind of shit vendors? These had some really cool ones, very unique. Um, just very unique. So we ended up finding some pasties at one shop that were just all jewels. And so I ended up wearing that with my little mesh Wednesday top and my Wednesday pants because Friday we had I didn't have to, but volunteered to pay off our debt of this festival ticket. So I ended up doing the water station for like 6 hours. And I'm thinking, like, okay, do I have to teach you how to change out the filter? Like, what do I need to do to this water? And they're like, no, 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 no. You just need to show people where the sensor is. Like, it's on the bottom. People keep grabbing the top, hitting the top. You just got to show them everyone is messed up in their own way and they just need a little bit of help sometimes. And some people don't need any help. And that's great. And like, keep people from washing their feet in there or their hair in there. Just like, you know, keep the peace basically. So I did that for 6 hours with this guy named Sid, and that was super fun. I was dressed as Wednesday, and it was just a vibe. Um, but I had the best water station. It was the big one up like over the hill. So you get to the first stage coming in. Then you go down this little hill. There's a water station. Here's like the start of all like the little vendors inside, and then a water station over there. And then you had to walk past our big booth to get to the giving tree. So I would say we had the best view of all the humans coming in. And so people would come first thing, you're getting your bag checked. You're not really bringing in water. I think they started allowing water because it got so damn hot that it was like, you know what, keep it filled. It's okay, which is good. Um, but you get to that water station and we saw everybody. So I got to see the signs, I got to see the outfits, I got to talk to people, I got trinkets. One girl gave me literally the best thing ever. She was so sweet and I was showing her, where where the sensor is down below. And she gave me a mini hand. Look at that full hand with candy that has electric force on it. I was so pumped and I started to use it at the bottom. I'd just be like, "Oh, I got it." And I felt like, "Oh, this is my little thing or my it." No, it would be thing. Cousin it was big, but this is thing. And then I was Wednesday as Adams, so that was pretty sick. But I accumulated a lot of trinkets because one guy came up and was like, "Yo, we're giving away these little Lego things, and it's a mystery box for an animal, and whatever's in it is your spirit animal." So next day, what did I do? I made that little Lego. My spirit animal is a pig, and the pig ended up being my common theme throughout the weekend. I found a pig, um, rubber ducky, sick, and then I gave a pig that was a stress ball Effingham pig to the Giving Tree, so that was sick. Um, and then I brought a ton of sprouts with like sunflowers and all different kinds of flowers. So I was giving those out, but I was gaining things from other people, which was fun. Like, I feel like I'm in a kindergarten class and someone's giving me like a gold star. Like, you look like a cool human or you acted like a cool human. Can I give you a prize? I'm like, fuck yeah. So the Wednesday vibes. So then Jamie and Tim came and did like a few hour shift. And tapped me out. So then I got to wander and got the lay of the land Thursday night, did the whole place, walked the entire thing. Then I was like, all right, bet I know this place. Let's roam a little more and that's when I ran into Roy Turbo and I just stayed. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Um, and right before that, I ran into all the actors. So you talk about the flowers, you talk about the Silly Walk people, the Alice in Wonderland crew. Every single beautiful actor and actress was lined up under the Sherwood Forest sign. And this was like an hour thing, like, hey, we're gonna be doing like a live photo op type situation. So I end up rolling into it by myself. And I tried to get into a photo by myself for a long time. And I'd like run up and people had already gone like as a crew. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting shafted. And then one guy was like, yo, you take our big group photo and I will take yours and I will make sure. I was like, bet. So I made that happen. And so I was like, you guys, I'm going full Wednesday vibes. So I just did like straight face Wednesday vibes. And I had this whole background of live actors. And I think it's the best photo I've ever taken. So that will be the cover of this episode. So be sure to check it out. Oh, that the most epic photo ever. So that outfit was fire. My Wednesday Adams. I felt really good about that. But the next day was kind of my like show off day. Like, let's go. I want to be a sunflower. I had sewed and hot glued all these sunflowers onto this bodysuit. Like, I was ready to just make a splash. So, and it's got like a big bush on the bottom, green tulle coming out of like my crotch up to my butt crack, high waisted kind of situation with these big sunflowers on my boobs, and then all these just sunflowers, and then all these sunflowers on a hat and all over my outfit, like little clips that you can put on top of, little hats and things. So I was giving those away. People were coming up to me. One gal literally yelled at me from the liquor booth and was like, "Sunflower! Sunflower!" So I went to talk to her. She's a G. She is funny as hell. We had similar vibes. She ended up, yeah, she sent me off with a glass of tequila. So that was sick. And I was going to watch String Cheese Incident. So that was a vibe. That was a vibe. That was a vibe. That kind of like started on that Sunday fun day. Or no, Saturday, Saturday. So yeah, that day was a little more recovery because Friday night, like, I mean, working that booth, I think I was there from like 6 to not, 8, 7:30 ish. No, 2, pardon, 2 to, yeah, 6:30. Um, or 2 to 7, could have been 2 to 8, probably 2 to 8. Yeah, 2 to 8. So I was working that booth for a lot of the day. But with working that booth came a gift card to vendors. So then I got to eat for free, which was fire. And then, oh, I left out this. So then that night, that was Friday night, and we'd worked all day. It's like, all right, we kind of want to rest. We're not going too hard in the paint on this Friday night. I already had Roy Turbo, already like just did a lot of things that Friday night, but I totally forgot. Tim went to bed, Jamie steamed out, and I was really having a hankering for a sweet treat. You know what I mean? My sugar. And so I find this booth and I'm like, ooh, edible cookie dough, or they have ice cream. And I'm kind of down for either. But we roll up to this booth. Who's there? Like, we haven't seen anyone from Effingham, period. Nobody. We were incognito humans of the world, and we see one guy we know from Effingham, super tall, comes into Joseph's all the time. Like, I know this guy. Jamie knows this guy. We start talking to him. I end up getting, free cookie dough and ice cream. Holla. And he informs us that, hey guys, the secret stage is next to us. I'm like, wait, what? So because I did not enter through the front gates, because I was not considered like a normal I don't know, concert goer, festival goer. I was staff. I didn't get all like kind of the fun stuff that comes along with your ticket, or like, I don't know. There's just things. So there's a scavenger hunt basically, and you go through all these different um I don't even know what they are, but you're playing this game, you're finding the riddles, you're taking the clues, you're going to those places, you're going to find people. They give away keys that open to doors. There's just so much mystery in this place that some people have gone for years and they don't see a certain section, or haven't gone to this, or can't find this or that. Like, there's some things like these keys, for instance. You can get keys, you can find keys, then you go to this key place and you're like, yo, I have this key, I found number 518. And they're like, bet today you have your own free porta potty to yourself. That's where this key leads. Some people got like, I don't know, you found an an outdoor area that's like specifically for you, sponsored by blah blah blah, and you have that for a half a day. And it's stocked full in the fridge. These little things that make this place way more magical than you would ever expect. Just little things. So then it comes to like the biggest thing is to find this secret stage. And you're going and you're doing these riddles, you're like running into people, you're having to just do all these things. And eventually it tells you, hey, the secret stage is located dot dot dot. We kind of just jumped that because the secret stage was right next to the cookie dough. And it was a gingerbread house with a fireplace, and you had Mrs. Claus out there, and then you had like a sexy little Speedo elf Santa, sexy man, that had a paddle that said bitch on it. And so to get into where you need to go, you had to squat down or get on all fours, get paddled and then walk or crawl through this fireplace. It would move to the side, you'd go in. Then you end up at Santa's workshop. And there's Santa, who's a woman, dope. And then there's a DJ behind her. And you have to get consent from Santa to be able to sit on Santa's lap. And, anyways, what? How, what? This came out of nowhere. So we ended up going into there, got a Polaroid on Santa's lap. I'm like Wednesday Addams, just it was hilarious. And to get consent to sit on Santa's lap, I had to do a lap dance, little twerk off with Santa. So Santa was pumped. Santa had a good time. I did Santa right. Oh my gosh, what a thing. Like, what? So then that's the event. You don't really, as much as you are aware of your surroundings, you're not peeking into all the random places. You'd probably see people getting spanked and then going through this, but at the same time, maybe you wouldn't notice it. So some people may have not ever made it in there that entire time, and that's crazy, but so cool. I feel like that's why you keep coming back, is you just keep experiencing it. And all these people that aren't even paid to be there contribute. They've been to Electric Forest for years and they love to contribute, whether that be, I saw some gal just made like fairy houses and she was placing them all around. And you know, it just adds to the lore of everything around it. And it's really cool. It's really freaking cool. So then, I'm this sunflower and I'm feeling groovy. And we finally make it over to Disclosure. And I, at that point, was feeling good. I had a bit of a tummy ache earlier, but, vomed it up, felt great, and carried on to Disclosure. And I didn't get in the pit. I was like, the air is breathing. They kind of want to chill out here. So we're kind of by the Ferris wheel out in the back in the middle of the field. But again, it is Disclosure. I can't stop my body. There's no way. So I am standing up like I'm clubbing by myself in the middle of a field. I mean, whoa, Brittany. And just not giving a shit. I'm watching Disclosure. I am dancing. When a fire starts to burn, right? It starts to spread. Burn that too, huh? I don't want to do it. Hey! I mean, I was on one, and then they just kept giving it, and I just be bumping. I was dancing my ass off, and I got a lot of trinkets for that. Some gal came over and was like, "You are teaching everybody out here how to dance." Gave me a necklace, like knighted me. Some guy gave me an I Am Groot Electric Forest 2025 pin. That was awesome. Just all these people. It was so much fun. Yeah, I just was loving my life in the field, dancing a storm. God, it was so nice. Yeah, Disclosure ended the night for me on that Saturday night. So it was fucking litty titty. It was. And then Sunday, turns out they gotta leave. So who gets another solo day? This gal. So I chilled. I like set up camp because I wasn't gonna sleep in the van because they're leaving. And so I set up camp. It was hot as balls. It was probably like 100 degrees. But I'd open my trunk and kind of let that out. The top of the trunk, and then I put a towel over it, and then I had my tent set up. So I kind of got some shade, but I was like sitting under my car for a hot while, just chilling, soaking up, just and processing everything that had happened. It was lit. So then I went in there Sunday with I was a monarch, not a monarch, I was a moth, pardon. And I had these big wings and I was just flying myself around. And it was a chill day and I was all by myself. I saw Krongbin they started at like 9 p.m. So then all day I was kind of chilling. I think I got in there at like 3. I spent a lot of time in the Grand Antique, acted a little bit with the rabbit and the snail and the ladybug, and I was like meow, meow, doing they gave me a baby doll, so I was like rocking it, and then I was like doing it, and then they started shaking it, and then they grabbed it and like fed it to the snail, and I was like, oh no. And you just go around with that. So I had a good time. That was weird and awesome at the same time. Then stumbled across, they had an auction of like random things. They had like a cat kalimba, and then a corset. They had a trombone, and they gave out little, like, bid cards, so it was real, and, so that was cool. Like, just all these random things that they have, and that you just feel very special if you come across and you're a part of, like, a specific moment, you know? Um, that's how I feel about seeing some of these people on the piano, like, being able to be with that big group, and it's her first time playing, and this is her 6th Forest. Like, that was a big moment for her, and to be a part of that felt really special. Like, that's not gonna happen the next day. It's not gonna maybe it'll happen next year again, but it won't be the first time. You know, all these little moments that you get to be a part of in someone else's life, but being observant, but also you're, like, in it with him. I don't know. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy, and then the flow artists, you could sit and watch people all day. It also never got packed. Even the pit kinda looked quite spacious. Everyone has their blankets out, everyone's dancing in the middle of the fields, everyone's just a lot more chill. You're able to get to the front, giving even to the rail on certain occasions. It's just a little chiller environment. People are willing to move and relax around you, which was really nice. Um, what else? Yeah, I really just had a chill day on Sunday. Um, but I think I walked minimum 10 miles each day. Probably, I did 11 miles the first day, and it was probably 9, 10 the rest of the days after that. Just kept walking. Just kept walking. Easiest. Honestly, you should just go to a festival once a month for weight loss. I feel the healthiest I am, but I eat, like, baby food and actual fruit and, things that keep my body going, some veggies, some rice and beans. Like, you're gonna only eat what you pack, and you don't wanna really buy that food. So, yeah, festivals, and you walk so much. It's like going to any other country too. You just walk so much. Because you want to. You wanna see everything. You gotta go. You gotta walk it all. You're gonna miss something. It's kind of incredible. Just the motivation to live at a festival is hilarious. Okay, also, so there's, like, this carnival, or what was it called? CC. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a carnival something. And next to that was the Dream Emporium, and that Dream Emporium has rooms of all different things. I'm talking like a roller rink in one, then they had a future telling in one, and then one was a tickle room. They're like dressed as French maids and like have feather thingies and they're tickling you. I think you have to give consent. But like it doesn't get weird, but they tickle you. And one room was wrestling. I saw women like WWE looking shit. And I guess last year they had some midget wrestling on one night, and they could have done that in another night too. It was very limited access at certain times and it closes really early. Um, but it was crazy. I guess there's an underwater like shipwreck too. I never found that. Um, like what? Just a dream emporium. So that just so many hidden gems that you're like, holy smokes. I just go for the vibe. Like, even if I didn't love the music, I mean, I probably knew 6 acts that I was like, hell yeah, fuck yeah. Other than that, I'm down to explore. But none of them I like came home and was like, except Roy Turbo. I was like, but I'm sad I missed Sack Squatch. I don't know how I missed that, but like, fuck. Anything that was at the honeycomb stage, I was really down for. I was really into that. So, but I wanted to experience the vibe too. So you're just walking all over the place, absorbing people's outfits, shouting out. And it did feel less like, okay, girlies supporting girlies. I love me some women supporting women, and shout out to like your outfit, your da 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 da. Just like, you know, tell a girl she looks good, or you've got a good vibe going on. Something. The compliments weren't flying as hard as I would want them to. I throw out a lot of compliments, but it feels weird when other people don't, when you do, but still tried to, throw them out there, but a lot more Midwest nice than like a Seattle festival would be. Like, I feel like everyone is so eye darted forward, doesn't give a fuck about anyone else. They are there to see their person and they want to get as close to the front and they're a little more selfish. And this just felt a lot more collective and like community based and heartfelt, and there's a lot more heart and soul into this, and that was really cool to see. I just not felt that way in a festival, even in Vision, and that's like sustainability hippie plus, but it's a different vibe than this art, the art and the moving pieces and just the different details that bring everything together and to make everyone's experience so unique is unmatched, truly unmatched. Go Michigan. You fucking slay. Um yeah. Craft stations, just random like candy making or something making. Like there was something for everyone and the most unique group of people. Like I feel like based on music, you can really narrow it down to like, yeah, these are some rave bunnies, these are some yada yada. Electric Forest was a variety of ages. I saw kids, I saw old people. I saw I saw a lot of gays. Like I feel like it was the gays were out to play. Granted it was Pride Month, so maybe that had something to do with it. There was a lot more gay forward. They had a really cool, I watched a drag show. This queen was on stilts. It was incredible. Singing to a lot of Hillary Duff. Woo! Woo! Touching my sweet spot. And but like the gay vibes were super there. I'd also not seen like we saw one leash booty, we called him. It was this guy walking this chick around the campsite at the gorge. All right. And that was my first festival ever, Sasquatch 2016. And I was blown away that like this happens. This guy is walking his girl in her underwear around the campsite. All right. Now I go to Electric Forest and I see, and for how big of a festival this is, it's quite large. I'm not aware of how many people attend, but of all the people, I feel like I saw like 10 couples, male on male walking. Okay. One's got a leather dog mask and the other has the leash, and they're just walking, casually walking, not like on all fours either, just like standing, walking behind, walking his man. I think I saw like 10 couples like that. To me, that's like a lot. That's like, this is a comfortable place for people to come do that. This is not the first time this has been done. There are 10 that I saw in the whole group. Like that's years in the making. You know what I mean? This festival felt so comfortable, whether you're like tits out, tits in, whatever is out and in. It was so accepted. People like that is the place to express yourself, but I think that people still go in thinking like, "Ooh, I wouldn't look good in that," or "I'm not as good looking as other people in this same outfit." Bitch, who cares? Everyone's looking at themselves. So wear what you want to wear and throw out a compliment here and there and receive that energy back. Like so collective, beautiful community pumping each other up. And I feel like it probably continues to flourish and flourish. And that's really cool to see. So just wow. It was quite a festival that I just have never had that type of experience. And maybe I'm just getting older, so I'm getting a little more different. And I'm like down to explore more, and it's like music comes second. I don't know. Or if it was just the Electric Forest vibe and this is how this shit rolls. But I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it. Oh, and there was a lot of flushable, clean toilets. Oh, that was beautiful. They were up on the cleanliness. There were just a lot of workers in the background doing all the things and keeping it nice. It even rained. Not Bonnaroo style, but it did rain. It did get muddy. And they'd put like straw out and It was chill. People were still barefoot. People were having a great time. Oh, the flow artists. Yeah, there were so many people just freaking twirling. They had what are they called? I have one, but I am not good. A flow star. They're freaking crushing the flow star. I tried to bring mine one day and then that was the moment that I was like, I'm not as good as these people. I cannot even pizza. Like I so someone teach me how to flow star because I want to be one of you really bad. I'm not a hooper. I wish I was. I'm just not a hooper, but I feel like I could spin some things on my hands. But I got, yeah, I don't know. Help me out. But there were so many flow artists with everything, but a lot of flow stars. A lot of, I saw some poi, some like whips and stuff, but so many flow stars. So that was sick to watch um, at any time. You know, that's another source of entertainment is watching people. I saw some girl, she had like a Chinese New Year head and she was twirling it all around. It was incredible. The freaks were out to play, and so were, yeah, it was just like freak adults being awesome at all times. So if you're an adult and you want a playground and you just want to be weird, freaking Electric Forest, end of June. Let's go. Rothbury, Michigan. Highly recommend, you guys. It was sick. It was wild. For a first time Electric Forest goer, I'd say it was fire. 10 out of 10 would recommend. See you next year, motherfuckers.